Hello gamers, welcome to another edition of Tonight on Mage Hammer's Game Table, where tonight I'm continuing my series featuring my Delves and Dangers Fantasy Rules Light role-playing game. And this is the story of the Heroic Hairfoots for Hire, led by Hairfoot Cleric of Retha, Theo Shieldfoot. His second in command is Barry Goodhollow, folk hero who saved her town of Tired Hollow from an undead incursion. Their trap springer, stealth specialist, and lockpicker is Fenster Sneakfoot, and he is there. And then their muscle is Clyde, a dual short sword wielding Hairfoot warrior. So they are on a mission to discover what exactly was behind cow disappearances in the Hairfoot village of Wheathaven, which was outside of Northgate. In the Swordlands, so in this area here, and they followed the trail of cow blood to a forgotten delve, and they went down into the delve. They went through a strangely empty delve with the exception of some kobolds, and the kobolds are the ones that were stealing the cows. And then what they discovered beyond that is that they are using the cows to feed Ssithisiss. And a Ssithisiss is a dragon that it seems to be almost translucent and is dark in color. And our heroes have now entered the entrance to a cave where Ssithisiss has made its home. So that's where the action picks up. Before he gets started, Clyde is going to use a charge on a healing stone to heal himself up. I'm giving each of them a daring die. Only 2. All right, he's going to make, before they entered in the cave, he's going to use another charge. And he's going to use all 3 charges because he feels like he may end up needing it to take on a dragon. His wounds still hurt. There we go. Back to full. All right. So his healing stones are gone for this session, but that's okay. For the day, it'll recharge at the beginning of the day. So, Ssithisiss says, "Welcome to my home." You don't sound very excited about that. Where are you coming from, dragon? Why are you here? Well, I've decided to make this my home. Hairfoots, you do look delicious. Oh, there'll be no eating us. Oh, they'll be eating us if I say so. So, because he is an adult dragon, they have to make fear rolls. They'll have to make DL3 mind rolls. If not, they will be pretty much shaken and will have to make some rolls. It's DL3. I think it's a -3D if they're shaken. I don't think it's -1 in this case. I think it's -3. Let me double check my notes in my rule book. And it is, yeah, -3D if they fail this mind roll while they are in the presence of this horrible monster, this dragon, this being of power, you know? So I'm checking something real quick. So bear with me, and we'll get back to the action in a moment. But Ssithisiss shifts his form, and Fenster's like, "So, dragon, where's your treasure?" It is in my former home. What? Yes. I have been driven from my home deep in the earth. Well, deeper in the earth. Driven? Driven? By whom? Well, dread elves have decided that they're moving up from the depths. And they have weapons that can harm me badly. And they made me move out and have taken over my hoard and my cave where I lived. So, let me get this straight. So you've come up here and you're stealing cows? No. I was hungry. The kobolds saw me as a god, as they should. And they decided it was time to feed me. So they fed me and they trapped every humanoid and anything they could find, spiders, whatever they could find in this realm, and brought them to me. Kobolds? Up against orcs, goblins, hobgoblins? Ugh. The kobolds had some kind of sleeping gas or something. Ah, thank goodness they must have used all that before we went up against them. Yes. So they've been feeding me, and when they ran out of humanoids in this delve and other things, they brought me those, what you call them, cows? Yes, cows. And those were delicious. But now the kobolds have abandoned me. Well, that might be our fault. What? Shut up, you fool. Well, shut up, fool. No, we're just going to be honest. They were stealing cows from our village that we're protecting, and so we came and we took care of that. So what am I supposed to do with food? Oh, wait, I know. Now, don't get any ideas, dragon. Maybe we can make a deal. What? A deal with a dragon? Haven't you heard? You should never make a deal with a dragon. Well, so these dread elves, how far away are they? Several days' journey in the darkness. Oh. Well, we could run the dread elves out of your place and send you back to where you belong. Tempting as that is, no offense, I don't think that you are quite equipped to take them out. Well, we wouldn't have to take them all out. We just have to clear your cave, right? Yes, but they may end up massing an army before it's over and done. Yeah, well, I mean, we could look into it. Maybe we could negotiate with them. You have nothing to trade that they want. I fear that they are deciding to maybe make another war upon the surface, from what I've heard. Wow. War upon the surface? That would be bad. It would be bloody. Yeah, like the one centuries ago. Yes, I remember. I fought on the side of the Dread Elves. Now this is the thanks I get. Well, now. Well, Ssithisiss, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. What do you say? We can, maybe go down and take care of your problem if... I don't know. That might be a bit much. Even for you, Hairfoots. Yeah, well, then if that's the case, how about, you stop, sending creatures to eat our cows? Look, I want nothing more than to be returned to my treasure. But they have weapons, as I said, and I am desperate. I want to return to my cave and my hoard and just be... This place is not my home. And eventually I will run out of food. Yeah, right. And so, what do you say? I don't think you have anything to lose, really. So, part of the deal would be that you no longer make incursions into the, find your meals here in the caves and don't send your whatevers up into the upper world to bring us you know, to bring you food, and then we will go down and negotiate with the Dread Elves to let you return.
You're so naive. The Dread Elves they are not ones to make deals like dragons.
Yeah, well, I mean, we could try. And frankly, if we have to, we can force them out.
You Harefoots, force out Dread Elves? Oh, this is the most amusement I've had in centuries. Oh, you're even funnier than the kobolds.
Yeah, well, you know, comedy's a side gig of mine.
I don't know what that means, but okay.
Yes. Well, so, what do you say, Ssissithiss? You get your horde back, you can hang...
No, you don't understand. Even if you force some of them out.
I'll tell you what.
Clyde's like, I'll tell you what. How about this, dragon? We go down there. What's this weapon they have against you? If we can steal their weapon, then you should be able to handle them much better. Now someone's talking sense. Yes, it is a spear. And it is purple and has a wicked blade on it. And it has skulls along the blade and spiders along its shaft. It hurts badly. If you could bring me that spear, show me that spear, and snap it in half in front of my eyes, then I could return to my horde, because I would be able to handle anything else those Dread Elves can bring to me. You have a deal, Harefoots. I shall leave the surface alone, and you bring me that spear. All right, it's a deal, dragon. Yes, a deal indeed.
Okay, that sounds great. So now we need to know how to get where we're going.
Yes. I do not have a map.
So he whistles. And from out of two of the side areas come those lizardy creatures. Ooh, drakey things.
Yes, my drakes.
He says something in their language. They turn to him. They listen. They cock their heads. And they nod. And then he says,
They shall lead you to my horde. Follow them. However, I shall warn you, the path to that place is fraught with danger. And at this point, you're doing me a favor, so don't die.
Yeah, okay, so like what can we expect?
Darkness, oppressive darkness. Watch out for many different predators that roam the caves. Watch out for humanoids that have made the depths their homes. Watch out for sudden falls that can plunge you down into the darkness of depths where your bones would shatter on the rocks below. Beware. Beware. Flying creatures in the bigger caves always look above. Beware swarms of bats that would want to tear your flesh. Yeah, sounds like my kind of place.
Oh, yeah, charming.
So, my drakes will lead you. I wish you many blessings on your trip. Hopefully you are well equipped for such a delve.
Well, we have some rope and stuff. And we have enough food to keep us.
Yes, food. I grow hungry.
Hey, don't get any ideas. We're giving you a plan.
Oh, Harefoots, you would be barely a meal. No, I shall send my other drakes to hunt for me, now that the kobolds seem to have abandoned me.
Yeah, sorry about that.
You can make it up to me by bringing me that spear.
Yes, indeed. Okay, Ssissithiss, it's been great. So the deal is, we bring you the spear, you return to your horde, and you leave us alone.
Yes, it is a deal.
Excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Let's, forgive me if we don't shake upon it.
No, I don't want your foul flesh touching mine.
Oh, charming. Okay, great. All right, lead on, Drakes.
Yes, good luck.
So they make their way out of the room. And I don't really have any really good subterranean tiles. So I'm going to pretty much work on this map for encounters. And I'm going to, instead of like trying to use, well, I guess I did buy some new cards. So let's see if these will come in handy. So on Gamecrafter, Axebane, who makes my wonderful Axebane Deck of Many Dungeons deck that I use pretty much for most things, also has a series of cards, about a dozen cards or so, that is that have encounters. So basically you can make like little mini maps. And these are by Axebane, done by him. And they have little notes on the back, so you can make notes. And I haven't tried to see if it's dry erase, but I haven't put them in sleeves yet either. And basically each one's like a little encounter map that you can use, and you can also link them together. So I'm going to try these here for their travels through the Dark Beneath, and then use this battle mat as, if they come into an encounter, we'll use it for the battles if they run into anything. So I think what I'll do is kind of like I do with Axebane's Dungeon. I'll kind of shuffle these up, and I also got Tombs and Dungeon ones, so that's kind of neat. So anyway, so I will shuffle these up, and this will be the directions they go. Fenster is going to leave chalk marks. Barry has her light up, and it's still the same day, so her magic armor is in place. She is going to regain... She regains 2 power points per thing, but she hasn't had to use any, so she's good. All right, so they make their way out of Ssithisiss' chamber. We'll say they're heading this direction here. And I'm going to say for the surrounding area, there's no encounters because Ssithisiss has had his drakes clear it out and patrol it and so forth. So now they're going to go out this way here. And since that seems to be a closed off area, I will use this card instead. All right. So we will see after they travel out of that area. I'm going to say this is still close enough. So I will shuffle these in. And I think, let's see randomly how many of these tiles they have to go down. We'll do D6 plus 6 to get to where Ssithisiss' thing is. And we'll say that there was like long times in between. So it's going to be 10 of these cards from this point on. All right, so they enter in there. Okay, so the drakes are leading them, so the drakes are taking around this pond area. Let's see if there's anything in here. Because it's still fairly close to Ssithisiss' cave, we're going to say it's only an encounter on a 1. So no encounter there. They go straight through the cave, and they go. So we are at 1. 2, enter into this mushroom forest after traveling for quite a ways through the caves. See if there's an encounter here. No, and now we're getting into 1 and 2 encounters where we are here. So the drakes take them out that side there. And we'll see if they hit an encounter in that crossroads. No. So that's the second card. All right, third card. That is a closed off, so I'm going to set it off to the side. Yeah. All right, so we'll see if there's an encounter in this room as the drakes take them through there. Nope, there's an old abandoned campfire though. As if some dwarves may have been there, and some water too. Oh, water. Anybody thirsty?
I still got water in my tank.
Yeah, but we never know.
Yes, my water skin is full.
Yeah, I guess they all are. All right, let's keep going. So they follow the drakes around, see if there's an encounter in 3. Nope. Encounter in 2. Okay, so when they're in 3, we'll see if they hear something. We'll make it a creature encounter. Roll on my encounter tables that I have. Okay. $61. Yeah, that sounds good. Awesome. So as they're in room 3, they hear some moaning coming from the room ahead, and the drakes kind of perk up and stop and kind of take a more defensive stance. And they're like, "Rrr." So they are entering in. So this is going to be the third one. So they're entering into the room from this direction, following the drakes. And so we'll just say this is a room here. And there are some things shuffling around in the darkness. I know I have this box of minis here somewhere. Yeah, here it is. Great. So shuffling around in this area here are some zombies. Shuffling corpses. And they're basically kind of blocking the way out. We'll just say that this is the way out. I know it isn't exactly 100% accurate as to where they are. Let's say 6 of them. 6 zombies. Just aimlessly here. There's some moss and mold on the ground here and a water pit there. A zombie rises out of the water pit, or pond, I guess, and sloshes up onto the solid ground, and kind of smells not great here. And so, and we'll throw this out here for one more. And so they're milling about. So they're at the entrance at this point, and zombies hear the hissing of the drakes, and they start to shuffle towards them. So we're going to roll initiative. I'm going to count the drakes on the enemy's turn. Or should I have them go with Theo? I'll have them go with Theo. They'll go on Theo's. No, they'll go on Fenster's because they have an agility. No. Yeah, we'll go with Theo because they have an agility of 2, the attack drakes. All right. All right, so we have Fenster goes before. Theo and the drakes go before. Clyde goes before, and Barry goes before, so that's really nice. All right, didn't even have to reroll any failed dice. No exploding dice. All right, so we'll start with the attack drakes and Theo. So this one runs over and attacks this one, runs over and attacks this one. They're charging, so when they charge, they get 7 dice, or 10 dice. Their horn does 7 dice, but they get 10 dice when they charge. So he attacks this zombie here, gets an exploding die. All right, so we're at 6 there. Zombies really have no armor at all. Their rotting flesh counts as their armor. So that is, he takes 5 damage, but their zombies are pretty hardy by nature. So this one is at 5. And the other ones, I'll record it, their stamina. Okay, so that was that one. The other one charges as well, 10 dice. 2, 4, 6, 10. It's got 2 exploding dice. That's 3, 6, 9, 10. Of course, 10 damage. And so that's 9 off of his, which almost fells it. It staggers back with the horn wrapped up into its rib cage. It starts shaking his head to shake him off. Theo has double time. He's going to run up on a zombie, but will not have enough effort to attack. So that brings us to Fenster. He doesn't think his crossbow is going to do too much against them, so he is going to move up to aid Theo and be able to use his opportunistic attack against that zombie. Clyde charges in the battle, goes right between the drakes, heads in here. He's going to attack that zombie on his next turn. And then Barry is going to move up a little bit, and she's going to unleash a magic bolt at this one here. So she is currently rolling 7 dice for her casting dice, thanks to her level. And she can reroll a failed die. And she has an exploding die and another exploding die. All right, so 3, 6. So that's 5 damage to this zombie here. All right, now the zombies go. So zombie attacks, they have a pretty good punch. So 6 dice on this Drake. Ooh, exploding die. All right, so that Drake has that, but they have 3 armor, so that's pretty good. So it only takes 2 damage. All right, the other Drake gets punched. Exploding die. So that's 5. Minus 3 is 2 to that one as well. All right. Then this one punches Theo. Oof. 3 exploding dice. So that's 4, 6 minus his armor of 3, so he takes 3 damage. Theo takes 3 damage. All right, and then this one punches Clyde. Ooh, solid punch. Right turn, Clyde. Oh, no. So that is... Why am I rolling 7 dice? We'll just call it 6 successes. 6 successes. Ouch. Minus his armor 2, so that's 4. Clyde is at full stamina. Okay, and then this one moves up on Clyde and attacks. Oof. Exploding die. So that's 1, 3, 6, 7. And Clyde takes 5 more. That was a solid punch. This one moves up on a Drake and attacks. Hits the Drake for 6. Minus 3 is 3. So this one is at 10. All right. So, initiative. All right, so Fenster's going before, reroll failed die for Clyde. Clyde's going before, Barry gets to reroll a failed die and gets an exploding die. Okay, Barry's after. And then Theo and the Drakes go before as well. Okay, so Drake over here, he's just gonna bite. He gets 8. He gets 8 with his bite. So he bites his zombie. Gets 2 exploding dice. So he does 7 damage minus 1 armor 6. So that zombie is ripped apart, and that zombie gets to make a... And it stays up with 1 hit point. He doesn't quite finish it off. And then the other Drake attacks the zombie he attacked before. And that is going to be more than enough, even with an exploding die. Yeah, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Minus 1 is 8, so... definitely takes it down. Does it? It is resilient. It stays at 1 stamina. Ooh, that's so funny. All right, and then now we're gonna move on to Theo himself. He gets 4 extra dice against these creatures. So his Warhammer is at 7 as it is, and then he gets 4 extra dice against undead creatures, channeling his holy divine power into it. And also in my house rule is that since he's channeling divine power, if he takes it down below 0, that is a horrible roll, Theo. If he takes it down below 0 with an attack, it does not, it's resilience, zombie resilience, undead resilience, doesn't matter. So he gets to reroll a failed die. Okay, so that's still a failure. And he has 2 exploding dice. So that brings it up to be a little more respectable. 6 minus 1 is 5. So the one that he is attacking is at, takes 5 damage. Okay. Ouch, Theo. Not great, Theo. All right, so the drakes have attacked, and Theo has attacked. Clyde attacks with his swords. No, we'll do Fenster since we're already here. Fenster gets his opportunistic attack, which is currently at +3. He gets 5 dice and +3 for opportunistic attack on the zombie. And ooh, reroll a failed die and gets an exploding die. So, oh man, they are not rolling well against this particular zombie. So that's 4, minus 1 is 3. That's still enough to drop it. Let's see if it's resilient. It is not. So they take that zombie down. That zombie is down and out. So he is going to move up on the one attacking Clyde. Theo's going to move on the ones attacking the Drake because they need the Drakes to lead them to Ssithisiss realm. All right. So now it's Clyde. Fenster's already attacked. Clyde is at 8 dice with his 2 short swords. And he attacks. And he gets an explode. He gets to reroll a failed die, and he gets an exploding die. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Minus 1 is 8. So he is taking his down, kind of. Let's see if it's resilient. It is not. He slaughtered it, so it is slaughtered. As slaughtered as a zombie can be, and he kind of turns to face this one. All right. So now the zombies attack. So we have a zombie attack Drake and does not hurt it. A zombie attack Drake and so gets 2 damage on that one. And another zombie attack on the Drake gets a exploding die. So 4 minus 3 is 1 more on that Drake. Then attack on Clyde. 2 exploding dice. And so 3, 6 minus 2 is 4 damage to Clyde. Clyde's hurt pretty bad. And so that's all the zombie attacks for now. And so Barry is deciding that she is going to hit. She doesn't want the Drakes to think that she's targeting them, so she's going to fire at this zombie here. Woo! Fires a magic bolt and use the, okay, so it's 2, 4, 6, 8. Minus 1 is 9. And that is enough to take it down. However, is it resilient? It is not. So the magic bolt slams into that zombie and sends it to the ground inert. So it is now initiative. Okay. Fenster's before. Clyde is before. Then Barry gets to reroll a failed die, and she is before, even though she got the exploder, don't need it. Theo gets to reroll a failed die, and also gets an exploder with the Drakes. All right, so we'll have the Drakes attack. This Drake attacks this zombie. Eight dice with his bite. And gets an exploding die, miss, exploding die, miss. Okay, so we're looking at 2, 4, 6, 7 successes. Minus 1 is yikes. I don't know if I did the right one or not. So did not kill it. The other one bites at another injured zombie. Gets 2 exploding dice and does 3, 5, 6. Minus 1 is 5. That is enough to drop that one. Let's see if it's resilient. It is not, so we chomped that one apart. All right, and then Theo attacks the one that it's on, and he gets, as we said, he gets 11 dice against undead. Oof. So he rerolls a failed die, and he has no exploding dice. So he's looking at 3, 6, 7. Minus 1 is 6 on his. Not enough to take that down. So that was him. All right, so Fenster is going to run up and attack this one. He gets 5 dice for his short sword and 3 dice for opportunistic attack. Attacks the zombie. He gets to reroll a failed die, and he has 3 exploding dice and another exploding die, and that's 2, 4, 6, 8. Minus 1 is 7. That is enough to drop the zombie. Let's see if it is resilient. It is, so it remains at 1. Remains at 1. And then Clyde moves up on this one that's fighting this Drake and attacks it. With both his short swords, reroll a failed die and an exploding die. Yikes. So that is 5 successes. Minus 1 is 4 damage. That is enough to fell it. Let's see if it is resilient. It is not. So it is felled. And then Barry is going to fire a bolt at this one. Reroll failed die, 3 exploding dice. Another exploding die. Right now we're at 3, 6, 9, 10. So 10 successes. That is going to be more than enough to bring it down. It's magic. It still could be resilient, though. It's not holy power, so it does not. That's too much damage, and it falls. Theo slowly approaches the Drake and uses a healing stone on it. So it heals it that much. Then he slowly approaches the other one and heals it with the same healing stone. And that brings it back to full. So it kind of nuzzles him a bit in thanks. The other one's not as friendly. Probably the Clyde of the group, of the duo. And they chuff and snort. And he's like, they want to, they've been traveling for several hours. They're gonna go through a couple more rooms. We'll see where we go from there. All right, so we are currently at 4 of 10 rooms. And let's see. They continue on their way. That is a dead end one, so we can't use that one. All right, so it's another card. They go just straight through there. We'll just say straight through. This is after many hours, and finally Theo's like, he tries to communicate with the Drakes and tells them, so they go up into this area 1, and they sit down and relax. The Drakes are like looking around, and then they're chuffing, and then they understand. So then they go and stand guard outside of here, and our group is going to take a dinner, or a lunch, I guess. They're gonna have a lunch, because eating is very important to Hairfoots. And they're going to eat, and that's where we're going to end. I don't think they've been on the road long enough to be a long rest or anything, but they definitely are going to stop for a respite. They're going to allow their healing stones won't recharge yet either, but they are going to just take a little bit of rest, and they're going to use some healing charges while they're here, because they have some wounds. Clyde has some wounds, so Theo's going to use this healing stone on him. And he's going to use one on himself, so he's back to full. And he's going to use one more on Clyde. So Clyde is up to full now. Almost full. Almost. That's good enough, though. We're not going to spend any more charges for that. So their healing stones are holding up. So Barry has 1 healing stone left, Fencer has 1 healing stone, and Clyde has... I thought Clyde used all his healing stones. Oh. Yeah, Barry has the second. Barry has 2 stones. So Barry has 2 stones, Fencer has 1. So Barry's going to hand off her stone to Clyde in case he gets separated. He has his own healing stone. So technically they each have a healing stone left charged, and they each have a daring dice, so that's good. So we're gonna end that there, and they're gonna continue on their journey from there. So thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you're enjoying where this is going, and hopefully come back for the next episode. So thank you very much, and thank you again for all the support I've gotten. Until next time, keep on rolling dice and playing games. Mage Hammer out.